Hi, Gabrielle.
Hey Nick, really great to meet you and hi to all your listeners.
Thank you. Good morning to you from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. My name is Nicolette. I am the creator for the podcast titled You're Worthless. Read that again. The juxtaposition of your very soul. First off, thank you very much for saying yes to be interviewed today. And when you reached out, it is definitely right in my wheelhouse because, like we said prior to the start of our conversation, everything is energy. The interaction that we're having and we're about to have right now, and the listeners listening to us, it's everything. Everything is about energy. So, and I think you are one of the perfect person to have on board to talk about energy and to coach us. So, I'd like to read I'd like to read a bit of your introduction for our listeners today, and then we can get right into it.
Go for it.
So, hey everyone, we have Gabrielle Pimstone here with us. She is an energy coach who is dedicated to assisting those on the cusp of change, but in need of that crucial nudge forward. She shares a journey of resilience and reinvention, highlighting how her love of psychology and spirituality finally converged to reignite her passion and purpose and provide profound healing. She offers inspiration and practical tips to individuals to break free from stagnation and fear. Her central message is that it's never too late to make meaningful life change. Yay.
Yeah,
It's never too late to pivot, right?
it's never too late. That word pivot, I think it was born in the pandemic. Everybody started speaking about it. Pivot.
And now it's a buzzword in the consulting because I come from consulting. It's like, pivot, yeah. Trajectory and all those things.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So Gabriel, tell us, what was it like growing up as Gabrielle Pimstone?
Well, I had quite a sad childhood, if I'm really honest with you. I mean, I was born into a great family, great parents, two older brothers. But when I was 5, my father got terminal cancer and he died when I was 9. And, those sorts of events really shape the trajectory of your life. And, to normalize it, we all go through trauma as kids. It doesn't have to be capital T trauma, which was my experience. It can be kind of small letter trauma, which is being pushed on the playground or being bullied at school. And so, I don't believe that my story is that much more unique than anyone else's. But what it did was it really got me asking questions. And from a very, very young age, like I was, journaling my dreams, trying to understand what was going on in my head, trying to, asking big questions about life. And that event kind of moved me in a trajectory of psychology. I was interested in spirituality and psychology, but spirituality wasn't a done thing in those days. And so I kind of moved into psychology until the pandemic, when I realized like my life was just, I was not in a great place. Fulfillment was lacking. And I needed to pivot.
Let's that pivot.
And I needed to hashtag pivot to find a different modality, to find something that was going to really change the course of my life and my client's life, because I spent decades in talk therapy. Got great insight about myself, that there was something that just wasn't changing. It was because the energetic frequency of the events that happened in my childhood was still trapped in me, and I needed to release that for real change to happen. Yeah, so that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Wow. That's definitely something that I want to dive into. Yes. Okay, so can you explain what energy mastery is and how it can benefit individuals? Okay, you know what? Let's break it down. Can you explain what energy mastery is first?
Yes. So the way that I teach it and the way that I see it, and we've already said a few times that energy is everything. It's life force. It runs through us.
Prana.
Prana, chi. It's exactly
Like that.
exactly right. And what it does is it regulates our function, both our conscious but also our unconscious functioning. So like our breath, our heartbeat, but also quality and strength of our thoughts and our emotions. And so just think of energy as the power that fuels and that drives us and that influences how we feel, how we think, and how we navigate life. And it can either, depending on, whether it's clear or blocked, it can either accelerate us or it can put the brakes on in our life. So what energy mastery? So energy mastery is, I've defined it as 5 disciplines. Firstly, understanding what your energy is. So going within and being able to really, with conscious awareness, understand whether your energy is heavy or light and what that's doing to your world. So understanding your energy, first pillar. Second pillar is protecting your energy. Very important.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking a lot about that because we are surrounded by toxicity, as you know. And so it's really important for us to have tools and techniques to protect our energy from the outside. Third pillar is clearing our energy and walk around with deeply held energy blocks, childhood, from the womb, passed down from generation to generation, and some of them are actually karmic. And so what I teach people is how do you clear and release these deeply held blocks. That's the third pillar. The fourth pillar is how you maintain your energy so that you stay at a high vibration and you interrupt dips quickly. And the fifth pillar is how you optimize your energy, which is how you expand your capacity so that you can house more potent energy and therefore manifest and do more with what you've got in life.
Mm.
So that's the 5 minutes of it, Nick. Yeah.
That's like a buffet to me because I went through my own spiritual journey. Also, after COVID forced me. So what happened before that was my own trauma, my divorce. So I said, okay, sweep it under the rug. I don't wanna deal with it. Let me work. Let me work. And then COVID happened, and then voila, everything came crashing down.
Exactly. Wow.
I had to sit with, I had to grieve.
Yes.
That was the thing that was I was trying to run away from. I didn't face myself. I didn't feel the emotions that I had to feel because it's an investment, right? Any relationship is an investment. So so and that brought me into my own journey. And safe to say, after 4 years, a friend of mine told me this. He said, Nick, you need to love yourself. And I was like, what do you mean love myself? I love myself. I take myself out on dates. No, wait, hang on. To salons, massages, and all this. I love myself.
Yes.
No, and he said it again, but in a different tone. But I knew it meant something. He said it again. No, you need to love yourself. It took me 4 years to understand that. I need to love myself because it starts from me. So
Yes.
having
So
you
much of what you're saying. There's so much of what you're saying. Can I
yes, please.
Oh, let's talk. I'd love to talk about grief because that's the been stuff that I released. But I want to just talk about this idea of loving yourself, because what you're saying is that self-care. Go to the nail salon and so
Yeah, I'm mistaken it with self-love.
it's not self-love. It's an act of love, but it's not self-love in and of itself. You can be doing those things, but still have really toxic self-talk, for example. You know, and those are the things, the deeper things we need to get to. So I wanted to just really talk a little bit about that. And just reiterate what you say. And I mean, I think it took you only 4 years because it took me 50 years to unwind zero. I was 50 years old. I'm a little bit older than that. Not much. I'm kind of years older now. But it took me 50 years to understand how I was sabotaging my own life. You know, when good things happen to me, I sabotaged it. And it all came from a really interesting limiting beliefs, Nick, because, and it was spoken about by Dan's class. It was such a seminal moment in my life. When he passed away, he was at the cusp of the most incredible life. He's married to my mom, to three wonderful children. He had a career that was really, really going places. A top job offer in Canada. He was a world-renowned, actually, a medical endocrinologist.
Wow.
Pioneer, and then he died. So for me, my limiting belief was that, you can't have it all. If you succeed,
Ooh, I had chills. Ooh, I had chills.
did you? Well, I'll tell you one more. If you succeed, if you stop worrying and if you succeed in life, you're going to pay the ultimate price. And the ultimate price. So the minute you relax, the minute you allow goodness to come into your life, you're going to become complacent, and the universe is going to pull the rug from under your feet.
Because we're not deserving of it.
All boils down to that. Well, for me, it was because I saw what happened to my father. It was the association. He had it all, and then he lost it all because he died. So it's an interesting thing how our mind keeps us trapped in a invisible spiritual prison.
Yes.
That's when you really look at it. It's bizarre what you think. It's crazy. But, and until we uncover and really, peel back the onion and uncover these core beliefs, which have energetic frequency, we remain trapped and stuck in that prison.
Can you tell me what, I don't know if you're familiar with the map of consciousness. So when you were,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So how did you position yourself? How did you move yourself from that degrading talk
Yes.
to switching,
Yes.
entering the higher
realm of
the higher realms.
Yes. I'm not at the top. Can't remember what the top dimension is.
Top is enlightenment. That's good at pieces, yeah.
That's been simply masters. I don't even got the second top path, but I'm somewhere in. I'm aware now of. I'm able to tap into realms that most people can't see. I think that's the fifth dimension. So how did I get from self-hatred, really bad, not self-hatred, but really shocking self-talk, these limiting beliefs? Well, you've got to do your work, Nick. There's no way around it. It's what you hear this, you just have to. It's very hard. It doesn't mean you got to do energy healing. You can sit in therapy. You could do whatever you want in multiple ways, but you've got to dedicate and devote time. Like most of us need a catalyst. Like I didn't just do it out of nowhere. So 2020 was my catalyst. I was in this really awful job at City Cheval in a bank. It was atrocious. And I was stressed. I wasn't sleeping. My thyroid had flared up again. And I really just isolated myself because I had no energy to get out of people. And I listened to a podcast, actually, it was the 9th of August, 2020. And there was something in the podcast that woke me to the fact that I actually couldn't stand living with this grief, fear of loss, and anxiety anymore. It was like something the woman was saying. She was talking about her own anxiety, sparked something in you where I said enough. And so what I gave it all to my journey. I started slowly, but I started meeting different teachers. I started doing those 21-day deep October meditations to back to that. Have you done them?
Yes. I mean, not deep October, but I went into, quantum physics. I never liked physics in school, but I wanted to know, what is life actually? Who am I? Like I had to lose my sense of self to find myself again.
What did you answer? Who are you? How do you define the I am?
The I am is the ego. It's the personification of myself. But to me, there's no simple way to put it, but if I would to put it simply, We are all light beings, and we're here to, in this meat suit, human body, just to have an experience, just to have the human experience, and then we're gonna go back. And once you realize that, life, you shouldn't take life too seriously, to be honest, because 80 years, 100 years old, that's a blip.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It's a drop. It's a drop in
Exactly.
the ocean.
Yes,
In the ocean.
yes.
Yes.
So, and even if I don't ascend this lifetime, the universe is still gonna make, you're still gonna send me back. At least this is, and then experience it again until I learn my lesson. Because at the end of the day, we're in of itself perfect. I don't know how to say this, light, this love, and just, yeah, it's just that.
We are. And you're right. The ego is the difference between like the human story to ourselves and our divine story. I guess that's what you're talking about, is the divine story. And as difficult, it took me again like 50 years to get to that. I used to read about this. I used to meditate. I've been for 30 years. I've kind of been on the fringes of this, but I didn't really realize what our true essence is until I've dived into my spiritual journey. And you're right. We are, there's that beautiful movie quote, you aren't just a drop on the ocean. You are
the
ocean in a drop.
Yeah, in a drop, yes.
We hold within us the vastness of the universe, the potential of the universe, all the abundance of the universe. We just have to believe it and tap into it.
We are the universe in the universe. We are a universe in a universe. Yeah.
We are.
Yes.
Because it's fractal, energetically speaking, what that means is energy kind of fractals off. So you can hold the DNA of, like if you look, if you took one of my cells from my body, in the one cell would hold the DNA of my whole body. It's the same concept. Yeah. Exactly.
Woo! We're gonna go into co-creating. We're gonna go into all of this is a rabbit hole.
This is a rabbit hole. Even if it's rabbit holes, I don't know which one we in at the moment.
Okay. Right. I think. Wow. Hang on. Where am I?
I know. And so we've been talking about grief. We've talked about so many things. Yeah.
Right. I want to ask you. So, what are the but what are tools or exercises that listeners can start using today to support their energy enhancement journey? Or
Yeah. Well, it depends on which of those 5 pillars, like understanding, protect, clear, maintain, or optimize. There's the tools under all of those. So maybe we can start with understanding and just see what comes from there, and then tell me about tools for protecting your energy, because I think that's really just like, yes.
We have a tsunami of information, people all trying to grab our attention.
Yes.
We need that.
Yes. Well, understanding your energy is important, because we've already said this several times that, everything's made up of energy, and it's core, thoughts, begins, emotions, or habits, decisions, everything is made up. It is just energy. So being able to read your energy gives you a direct path to understanding that. So, and what it can do to understand your energy is, it's that kind of the difference between being caught up in something or being, becoming aware that you're being swept away by it. So there are a lot of things that you can do to understand your energy, but I'll give your listeners the very, very simple. What I started doing at the beginning of our journey is taking my mobile phone and setting that alarm clock 3 times a day. And when I was in a lot of pain, it was actually on the hour. You can do this 3 times a day. Set your alarm clock, and when it goes off, you just take a minute out of your life and you ask yourself this question: what am I feeling? That's it. Or you can ask yourself, am I feeling heavy or light? And really give yourself a minute just to check in. It's like an energetic check-in, an energetic audit. And that is the simplest so persuading to this. You could take the exercise further and say, what has caused me to feel this way? And then you start to understand and identify your triggers. But simply the act of tuning in and taking note is an incredibly powerful way of starting to understand what sits beneath the waterline. And I guess another really simple one is paying attention to your language. The words we use give us a clue as to what's happening inside us at an energetic level. So I hear somebody who says, I'm an idiot 10 times a day, or I used to say I'm exhausted all the time. And when I looked at that, I realized that energetically, I wasn't physically tired, but energetically I was burnt out. So that's another thing, just paying attention to the words that you use.
Mm, mm.
Simple.
Wow. I wanted, woo. I wanted to go back to you mentioned about karmic just now, and then the second part where you said the checking in, like some sort of a pulse check, right? And then the third one was how do we? So say somebody is feeling heavy, but it's very hard for them to pull. Okay, it's like okay, I need to operate at 80% or 90% capacity. I am going to not listen, and I'm just gonna go on, and until they hit that breaking point, enough is enough.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's about, how do I say this? Like you said, a catalyst.
Yes.
It's always a catalyst. It's something internal and it's also external, but the most powerful one is usually the internal one.
Yes.
When I want to circle back to when you said you listened to a podcast, and that triggered something in my head. I'm like, because it's always, I just remembered, sometimes we don't need to look at the messenger, we need to look at the message that's being sent to us.
And the message can come in different forms, right?
Exactly. It could be, I don't know, plate numbers. It could be once you open a book, and that the first sentence that you see is the very thing that you're looking for. And also, I'm going to tie it back to, you said, you quoted Rumi, what you seek is seeking you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That which I seek is seeking me.
So it could be
so amazing. I love that. I love that.
So imagine if you're seeking exhaustion, it will find
come
you.
to you. Exactly.
Right?
Which was me. That was my case. That's exactly what it was.
If I'm seeking, like, if I'm telling myself, the love department is not for me, then be it. Then so be it. The universe will give it to you on a silver platter.
Exactly. Exactly. But the idea of tuning into signs and synchronicities is so important. Ultimately, but hold on, my dog's down. I'm not sure what.
You want to get into the conversation?
Probably.
I agree.
Something's probably really here. So signs and synchronicities can come in various forms. Like, it was really interesting for me what happened last night. I'll share a couple of things that have happened from signs and synchronicities. Now, these are radical ones, radical. Sometimes they're more subtle, but I'm going to share some two really interesting things. Years ago, it was Sunday, and I was feeling very stuck and very trapped in my life. And I just couldn't move forward. And I took my journal out and I did a journal entry, and then I ended it with this question: how do I learn to trust more? Which is actually what I'm talking about. How do I learn to trust? 3 minutes later, I went into my garden and I looked up in the sky. I could show you the pictures you really wanted.
Yeah.
In it was an airplane. You know that they write those words in the sky.
Oh my God, I had it.
The word trust.
I had chills again.
The word trust was in the sky.
No way.
Isn't that incredible? So now acting on that, I had to work on, it was obvious what the lesson was. that I had to work on trust. Here's another interesting one. It was, again, everything happens on a Sunday. It was a Sunday. And I thought about this woman who I worked with 25 years ago. I haven't thought about her in 25 years. She was somebody I was quite close to at the time that I just lost touch. And, Mondays would I rolls around. I see that woman walking up my
Out of the blue.
I hadn't seen her, I hadn't thought of her.
Out of the blue, you hadn't
Nothing.
texted
I
nothing.
didn't know what her number was. I'd lost complete touch with her. And she's walking up my driveway, and I called and I said, "Is this you?" And she goes, "Oh my God, Gabe, is that you?" And I said, "What are you doing here?" And she said she's going through a separation and she's looking for a
House.
to rent.
Ah,
Yeah.
right.
And I live up a kind of long panhandle driveway, and there are two properties at the head of it. But look at the other property.
Yeah, look at that. Oh my God.
So I was like, what
This is real, guys.
This is real. What does this mean? And then I realized, after a case that was a few, maybe 6 months in, we landed up, reconnecting, that she taught me a really interesting lesson about relationships and friendships. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I followed the breadcrumbs. I cultivated a connection with such a big coincidence that I couldn't ignore it.
Can you share with us, what did you learn about love and
Yes.
relationship?
Yes, well, about more friendships, relationships. I have always been somebody who's been emotionally very intense. And I have dived headlong into romantic relationships with men that don't deserve, me.
Same.
Right? I have
Hashtag relatable.
You're right. I have made friends really quickly, only to really see a person's true colours further down the line. So I move fast. I just kind of go in, boots are all. That was me, not anymore.
All or nothing.
And what actually happened with this woman is she started wanting to see me all the time. When she was going through divorce, she was lonely, or separation, she was lonely. Contacting me, landed up. She actually lived around the corner from me, and I realized, and I went in and I saw a lot of her, and then I started seeing some very toxic traits. And by that stage, I was already seeing her all the time, and connecting, and I didn't know how to backtrack. I didn't know, and I learned from that particular incident that actually I'm a bit of a slow burn. I need to really take my time in relationships more generally, not just romantic relationships, but friendships. I need to really size up a person before I open up myself to them. So that was an interesting lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So all the learnings, it's both the good and the bad.
Good and the bad. Very much so. So, the learnings can be about big soulless, big lifeless that you really hadn't really paid attention to. So that was an interesting one. And I didn't realize, I was thinking, I wonder why she's shown up in my life. It was only, 6 to 8 years that it held it. But you don't have to have those big synchronicities for them to be real signs. Like, as you say, paying attention to other sequences, paying attention to songs on radio that really, you think something in a song phase that mirrors exactly what it was you think it was. You say you turn to a page in a book that does the same thing. Noticing signs or objects or things that don't really typically come into your life that are suddenly there. Like I know somebody who kept seeing owls, those birds, those night birds, and you see them very often. And, you can always look into what's the spiritual meaning of that. Or you can go within and say, why do I think I'm seeing so many owls? So, that is, there are different ways of tapping it.
I love it. Don't you think that the universe is always trying to connect with us? Like
It is.
all the time. We're just deaf, and
Yes.
we turn a blind eye on all of that.
Yes. Yes, we do.
all the time.
We have so many avenues for these signs and synchronicities to come to us, including in our sleep when we dream.
Yes.
Most people don't pay attention to their dreams, but actually all dream, and we all dream several times a night. And a lot of healing happens in our sleep, in our dreams. Start a practice of, setting an intention for your dream and then waking up in the morning and capturing what came up. It's an incredible gift that we all have, and most people don't pay attention to it.
Sometimes I dream, but then I forget about my. I don't know. It
Yeah.
feels like I'm in a different timelines.
You are.
Yes. And then when I wake up, it's like then deja vu comes in. Feels like I've been here.
Exactly. Well, we exist in different timelines. We have multi-dimensional selves that exist in the here and now, that exist in the past. There's a past version of ourselves, multiple past versions of ourselves. There are multiple future versions of ourselves. And, that's really a great thing to remember from a manifestation perspective, because if we can tap into the version of ourselves that has worked out the problem we're trying to solve today, that is the thing. And when we sleep, some of us time travel, many of us time travel. And so it's really useful when you just pay attention to, am I tapping into a version of myself in the past? Is this the future version of myself? And to really pay attention to what's happening energetically. So there's so much. I always say to people, the most expedient and efficient way of healing and doing the work is single
Resting, right? Resting itself is
turning off your mind, but also turning off your mind. That's what sleep does. It turns off your conscious mind. All those barriers just, fall on the wayside, and you can do the most extraordinary healing in your sleep. Beautiful. So much to talk about. Yes.
Oh, so Gabrielle, what are some common signs of energy block?
Well, the common sign, regardless of what the block is that you will have a repetitive pattern in your life. Something you can't quite figure out. Did I just face? Something you can't figure out, something you can't fix. You woke up and feeling, why is it that I can't, that I've got money knocks, that I can't make money? I'm just giving you an example. Why is it that, I have, why is it that I rush into relationships all the time? Why do I have difficult relationships? Why is it that I can't meet my match and my soulmate like romantically? Why is it that I can't make decisions and I never take action when I need to? Why is it? So there's so many ways that this can show up. For me, my block, which I couldn't figure out in therapy, my energy block that followed me throughout life, was this constant anxiety, constantly waiting for loss to happen, waiting for the trauma to happen. And that was it for me.
You were anticipating.
Always. And the block came because when I heal people, I go to the inception point, because often what presents in the here and now isn't the actual real issue. It's a manifestation of the issue, right? So we go back to the inception point. And this is, where did it start? Was it my childhood? Was it karmic? This is a lesson. Was it from my mom in utero? Was it passed down, something that my grandparents passed to my parents, or my mom or my dad, or whatever, who passed it on to me? Transgenerational. That's what I do. I go in and I look for the energetic root, where this one begin, and that's when you release the frequency. That's why it's so powerful.
I love it.
So do I.
Okay, next question. How can a person prioritize their healing while still tending to the practicalities of daily life?
Good question. I always say, people listen to my regular podcast, and we've heard this a million times. You don't have to be an energy master to master your energy. Okay, so most of us are busy, doing different things, studying, working, parenting, whatever the case may be, we are busy. And so there are so many things that you can do to... Hi, what's that? Why did that?
He said, not good to be busy.
Oh, it's not what it was. Okay. Like, I agree. And it's not good to be busy. That's classic. That's what you do here.
Sometimes it goes, yeah, it's funny this way, but never mind. It's okay. Sometimes if you do this, maybe if you do this, you'll have fireworks. If you do a peace sign. Okay, maybe it's not. Yeah. Another guest did it, and it was like,
Blessing.
yeah.
This is very good. As I ask you. So if you're busy and you just don't have the time or the energy or the inclination, that very simple things you can do. You spoke about what is with your dreams. We all sleep. You don't have to do anything different other than to take 2 minutes when you wake up to jot down what happened, or to just think about what happened in the sleep. So working in your dream state is a very efficient way of doing it. Going to nature. Nature's many healing properties. For me, I happen to like the fire energy of the sun, the moon. All they like water, others like earth, others like wind energy. They're different elementals that you can tap into. Go out into nature and spend a minimum of a few minutes every day amongst nature. It's hugely healing, and that doesn't take anything. Most of us do go out into nature. So, those are just very practical ways that you can integrate energy work and energy healing into your day-to-day life.
So you're closer to the fire element. You're blind fire.
That's interesting. I don't know what my sign actually is. Because in Western meditation, Western astrology, I'm Gemini.
The air, that's air, but probably in your chart, in your birth chart, probably.
My birth chart was actually interesting. In my Vedic astrology, I'm a water sign. I'm Pisces. I don't know where the fire's coming from, but I'm actually not big into water. I'm actually not. I don't really.
But you're emotional.
I am. So maybe that's
Yeah.
The fire energy I love, because what fire energy does is it transmutes your state. Yeah. Doesn't it? Standing under the sun, you walk away 5 minutes later, you feel like something's shifted.
Something, yes.
So that's, the other way.
Some chemical reaction happening within the body. And then if you just stare at the fire for just few minutes, you can almost imagine it. It's like, it's something magical about fire.
It really is. Well, the flames just change shape all the time. It's alchemizing energy. Yeah. So that's one of the elements. By the way, I work with elemental energies in my healings as well.
Oh, really?
Yes, they're so powerful. Earth energy is grounding energy. It's nourishing, grounding energy. Water, the way that I experience water, and I remember walking around in the sense of water energy around me for days. I was actually a sacred land, and for me, water energy is cleansing. It's soothing, cleansing, life-giving energy. It's beautiful. So that was interesting. And then, the wind energy is one I don't tap into as much as the others, but it feels to me like wind energy can be used for change, to flush out the old. So I actually hate wind. The suburb that I grew up in is notorious for gale force winds, and I hated it. But actually nowadays, if I find myself in gusts of wind, I just imagine it sweeping away the old. So it's very active energy.
Everything has energy, and everything is element, actually. If only people can really tune in and be quiet and listen to all of that. We're all connected.
Yes, we are all connected, and we're connected. This is how I'm brought. Because I actually studied quantum physics. The way that I facilitate, I'm a group facilitator. And the way that I work is using quantum physics. So I'm going to draw you a little thing, okay? So there's our 4 little people, okay?
Yeah.
On the surface, it looks like we're separate, right?
Yes.
Actually, this is what it looks like.
Hee-hee.
It looks like this. We're actually all one big thing. That's the essence of quantum physics.
Mhm. A friend who was also a guest, he said to me, we all come from the same ray of light. So let's say I'm a ray of light, you're a ray of light. So if you make fun of me, doesn't that mean you're making fun of yourself?
100%.
Mhm.
Abundance.
Mhm.
If you gossip and speak badly about other people, you're ultimately damaging yourself in the process.
Yes.
You know, energetically, we are one. Not interconnected. Nice way to think about it, which I teach people, is we've all got energetic cords coming out of us. They attach us to people, places, and there are so many of them. We are connected on an energetic level. So I am, you are, the dog is, everything is interconnected. And so we are constantly transferring energy between people, places, things, animals, and we are integrally bound in and by our energy. And it's, even though it's invisible and you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's like running the show. It absolutely is. Energy runs the show.
Yes, energy runs the show. So tell us, Gabrielle, what are the tools to protect? How can one protect their energies?
Well, they're complicated, they're complex tools. Which I'll talk to you. Yes, I don't have to be an energy master to do this. So for me, the most important tool that I've mastered for protecting my energy is how to set boundaries. A couple of words I was going to say that too. Clearly defining your personal boundaries and communicating them to others. I really don't like it when you do this. So when you do that, really evokes this for me. Whatever. Okay? That's the one word doing. And choosing your company really wisely. Minimizing contact with people who bring you down and drain your energy to cut people out. But just minimize contact with them. And the third way of managing your boundaries, which is so important, is learning to say no when you have to, without feeling guilty. So those are some of the ways you can do it from managing bounding perspective. The other ways you can do it, we spoke about self-care earlier. So making time for activities that really recharge you, rejuvenate you, release toxicity. So that could be physical exercise. For some people, it's hobbies, for me, it's exercise. Some people, it's meditation. And so, there are acts of self-care that can really help you recharge. And I think the other act of self-care that's not spoken about enough is really prioritizing alone time. Yeah, where you're not with anyone, where you're actually just you and yourself. And so for some people, you're going to really make a conscious effort for other people. It's a little easier, but there's 4 ways, even if it's driving in your car, maximize that alone time and just really use it to replenish and charge. Other things, limiting your information, being mindful of the information you consume, so especially from news and social media. And just really, for me personally, I do a digital detox every night from 7 p.m. If you try signing off 7, I won't even hear my phone because it's on airplane mode. So that's one thing. So those are some of the things that you can do very practically to protect your energy from the stimuli around you.
I want to talk a little bit more about solitude. I love it.
I love it.
I used to be afraid of being myself, sitting with myself, with my own thoughts. I would be so scared to just explore and sit, and the way I would run away is to have company all the time until I was forced. There's no way, or there's no other way around it. It's just you have to sit with it. And now I love solitude more than anything. Like I need it. I need it.
Me too. One has to be careful.
It is a non-negotiable.
It's non-negotiable. It's such an act of self-prioritization. I've often wondered, well, actually, I used to be a long time ago. I didn't like to spend time on my own. Now, I probably like it a little bit too much. I've got to be a bit careful. But when you're alone, you don't have to spend time with your thoughts. You don't. You can spend time doing something that recharges you.
That's right.
You can spend time journaling. You can, just doing something that doesn't involve the energy exchange with another person. That is why isolation or solitude is so important in terms of managing boundaries. So important for energy, because in that moment, it's just you and nothing's contaminating your space. So yeah, sorry about this.
It's okay. No, I want you in the frame. It's okay. What's his name?
Django.
Alan
Django.
Django.
Yeah. So he wants to live, and it's been raining in Sydney for days. So
no.
So no, go away. So yeah, so it's peaceful. It's peaceful.
Yes.
And but it doesn't mean you're sitting and meditating or focusing on your deepest, dark spheres. It can mean, I love cooking and baking. It can mean getting into the kitchen and creating an incredible dessert, for example. On my own, it's in my rhythm, nothing else. That's an example of being on your own.
And being content and happy. But I think to get to that space, you need to first process that and be comfortable, be accepting of yourself.
Yeah.
That it's okay. You're here.
I'm talking. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm talking in the context of relationship, because I've always been in long relationships. So once I got divorced, and it's like, okay, what is it? What does it feel like to be single and to be like this and this? And right now, the happiest.
I hate that word single, because it just goes against what we just spoke about. It goes against this picture.
Right, because we're all connected. And
Really are.
that is so true. When I say single, it means I don't have a partner romantically, but I am very much connected to the people that I talk to, like yourself, and the community. And I am fulfilled and content with that, without having a partner to validate that.
Yes,
I need to be loved. It's nice to have somebody to come home to, but I can feel that.
Well, you do have someone to come home to. It's you. I mean,
yeah. Oh, yes.
Here's the myth about relationships, and I know this from my own experience. You can feel no more lonely than being trapped in the wrong relationship or misunderstood in a relationship. That is the loneliest place to be. Because it's an expectation from both mutuality and connection. And when that's not forthcoming, it's the worst place. That's the loneliness.
Imagine if you're sleeping on a bed with somebody next to you, but for you to feel lonely, there's something wrong in there.
It's something deeply wrong. And that is, unfortunately, actually a lot of people's experiences. So I think we need to reframe the state of solitude with the state of no needs. They're very different. State of solitude is actually peaceful.
Peaceful. Bliss.
Bliss. In flow and doing something you love. Enjoying that peace. That, loneliness is a lot more jarring. You're not striving for that.
Yes. No, we're not. So, Gabrielle, what advice do you have for listeners who might be skeptical about energy healing or its effectiveness?
Well, I typically don't. I'm not in the movie trying to tell people that this is the holy grail, even though for me it has been. Because I know that, there isn't, healing is not a one size fits all. There are different ways to wholeness. And energy healing, energy work, mastering your energy is one. Like, talk therapy is another. For some people, like I've got a friend who does ice baths. does the half breathing. That's his, So there are different paths, and I wouldn't necessarily get into that conversation. I would, though, say to your listeners that I understand it's not something that's visible. But if you go to the websites of some of the really big hospitals about the world, like the Cleveland Clinic, Johns Hopkins, those big hospitals, have a look at their websites. They have got healing modalities that are complementary for cancer patients and so forth. They do acupuncture. I can't remember which one, but one of them, advertised acupuncture, the other one Reiki, Emirati Silica Reiki. So there's a very much a growing field in medical science, which is science-based. That is, it's about integrative health, which is an acknowledgement that the mind and the body are so intricately connected. And so it's growing, but it's not for you, it's not for you.
I vouch for that. It's just growing. It's been there, and we're just gonna tap into it more and more.
And it's not just growing. It's that dimensional continuum you're talking about earlier. That's consciousness. That it's like when I was 11, I became a vegetarian. I started eating meat. I've progressed since then, I've cut out all that dairy and stuff. But then I was 11, I was very attuned to the suffering of animals, etc. And I was the only one amongst all my friends who was vegetarian. And nowadays, so that was like 4 years ago, right? Nowadays, if you go into restaurants, you never have to ask, do you have vegetarian options? There are plenty of vegetarian options. It's becoming, and vegan options.
Yeah.
So, if you go out for dinner in Sydney, many restaurants offer a separate vegetarian and vegan menu. So that's become mainstream. Yoga has become mainstream. I looked in my yoga class a couple of weeks ago. I was just aware there were a lot of men in my yoga, and a lot of older men, like men north of 70, doing yoga. That I've been doing yoga for 30 years. So in those days, it was very different. Now it's mainstream. Same with alternative healing. It's not quite there yet, but more and more people value and understand that a holistic way of healing yourself is the best way to go. It doesn't mean that's all you do, but it can be a nice adjunct or complement to other modalities that you use.
I love it. Thank you for putting it that way.
You're welcome, Angel. You're welcome.
What is next for you, Gabrielle?
So, next for me is it's really about scale, because my greatest intention is to change as many lives with it as possible. So it's actually about scale. And, how a scale is, up for question, but I think there is a need to really bring this to the world. I already am doing that, in the sense that everything that I do is online. It's all online. All my healings, all my coaching. And so all my clients are from around the world, that was the first step in scaling. Now it's just really getting a movement going.
I mean, that space too.
Let's collaborate.
Coaching. Let's take it offline. Okay. I would like to ask you, I think we did touch about this, but can I ask you a question on self-worth? So, how can mindfulness and self-awareness practices contribute to self-discovery and a healthier self-concept?
Well, mindfulness is around paying attention, being present to what's happening in and around you. Okay. So in my experience, practice, I've done a lot of mindfulness training as well, and practice, really you start to pay attention to your thoughts. Really start to pay attention to the language. We spoke about that earlier. I can better have a say now, it's sourced it a lot. When you start, that is what gives you that is what gives you a direct road back. Oh, I don't know where you went.
No, yeah, my alarm just went off, so but we're back.
Okay. Sorry, it's a question. I can't remember. I'm glad. I've always also been a knowledge.
Everybody's calling me. Everybody's calling me. Hang on. What? People, stop. I'm gonna edit this out from the. Hang on, let me see. Okay. It is on flight mode right now.
Yeah, mine's always half fun mode.
Yes, Gabrielle.
Sorry, what were you asking? After so
Sorry. How can mindfulness and self-awareness practices contribute to self-discovery and a healthier self-concept?
yes. Okay. So I'll just talking about the concept of mindfulness is about paying attention. But what are we paying attention to? We're paying attention to our thoughts. We're paying attention to, and those covers our beliefs, be paying attention to our self-talk. That's the other thing. Be paying attention to our emotional state, what triggers us, our high, low. We're paying attention to the decisions we make. We're paying attention to the things we do. And when we do that, then that is, we can catch destructive patterns. We can destructive self-talk in its wake, so that it's a way of interrupting. It's a pattern interrupt, and where you interrupt down the spiral, so whether that's what you do, what you say, how you think, you're able to interrupt that. It does. It's not just going back to the question. You're able to stop the negative talk, the negative self-destructive, self-sabotaging patterns, and that you can actually replace them with things that are more healthy, pleasing for the self-concept. So that's how it has worked for me.
Thank you. What is your heart's greatest wish?
My heart's greatest wish is to end suffering of animals, actually. That's my heart's greatest wish. And I've extended that to end suffering of all sentient beings, including animals. Because I've always been wired that way. So, for people to really understand the inherent worth and value of animals, not just how companion gets, but pigs is so intelligent, and all the animals that we use for food, for entertainment, and really just to end that suffering. That's my greatest wish. I'm moved by that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm moved. Do you have a mantra that you live by?
Yes, I do. Well, and it's actually my screensaver. I am abundant, safe, and secure. That's not on track. Safety is, because, and that links back to that limited belief that I spoke about. If I'm abundant, I'm going to pay the ultimate price, because my dad did. So that's why I've got abundant with safe and safety and security in it. I can be abundant and still be safe and secure. That's not money.
I love that. You can have it all.
You can. Yes, you can. And there'll be moments in life where you don't have it all, but there'll be moments in life where you do. And there's always something worth aspiring to.
Is there anything that keeps you up at night, or do you sleep well?
I actually sleep quite well. I've always been a good sleeper. I've always been someone who goes to sleep early and wakes up early. That's my biorhythm. And I've always been someone who has fallen asleep really easy. So, sometimes my bladder keeps me up at night. Like I've got a good find one sometimes.
No, my bladder keeps me up at night. But other than that, yeah.
Few moments, in 2020, I was so distressed and so stressed in my job, I wasn't sleeping. So that kept me up at night. But generally speaking,
I love that. So, Gabrielle, if you could create a quote right now for you to leave to the audience listening and the world as your legacy, what would it be?
Can I pinch someone else's quote?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pinch from Ruby. I'm going to say it again. Why stay in prison? Door is...
Let that sink in. Let it resonate, guys.
It's a magnificent quote. It really is.
And remember, what you seek is seeking you.
What you seek, that which you seek is seeking.
Let that marinate. And that wraps up our conversation today.
Oh, No. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I would love to have you on if you don't
Okay.
mind. Yes,
We could deep dive into a topic.
that's right. That's right. And how can people find you?
Well, go to my website, which I'm sure you'll have in your show notice, that it's generative growth.com.au, or get hold of me on Instagram, Gabrielle-Pimstone on Instagram.
So there you have it, guys. Gabrielle Pimstone. Thank you all for listening. Bye bye.
Love that.